I bought this Tevise just about a year ago for under $30. Is it the real deal or is it a hunk of junk? Find out on this episode of
Average Joe.
It's always time. I kind of want that.
Hello everyone, welcome to Average Joe Watch Reviews, where we do more than just reviews. Today we're doing a long-term review of the Tevise Submariner Homage. I'm personally surprised that this watch has lasted as long as it has in my collection. There's a reason for that. You want to know why? Well, stay tuned and I'll definitely let you know why. But before we dive into the specs and the review, please click that like button. That is the most charitable way to help support the channel. So with no further ado, let's dive into the long-term review. Oh yeah. Okay, so we've got the Tevise automatic, and this can be had. I got this for actually under $25 actually on AliExpress. I mean, now you can buy these for, again, you should be able to get these for under $30. So when we take a look at this watch, it's a good looking watch. And there's a good reason for that. And it's because it's actually basically a direct copy of the Rolex Submariner. Now, this particular watch, as you can see, as it sits, it's actually sitting straight on. So as you can see, the magnifier is definitely off. So you can see just a bit of the 6, but if you tilted it over just a little bit, it does actually magnify, okay? I mean, that's how small the 6 is. It is a magnifier for sure. But you actually have to just tilt your wrist just a little bit to actually view the date. Now, when it comes to the bezel, if you want to line that up like some of you guys out there, you could definitely line it up because there's a lot of back play with it. Let me check that out. So that's lined up. We'll take a listen to the bezel action. There's that back play. A lot of back play, right? But the bezel action actually isn't as bad as I would have expected. It's actually, I mean, it's bad, but it's actually not as bad as I really thought it would be. I mean, I would call this a fidget spinner. I mean, you know, you're not going to go diving with this watch, and it is a pleasure to go around. So I mean, so it does its job. It looks good. It's got that aluminum bezel insert. It does have a lumed pip, and I'm going to show you the lume on this just for giggles. And you know, it's not that great at all, but honestly, it lasts just as long as some of the Bulivas and Citizens I own in my collection. So I'm not going to knock the Lume too hard when you're spending a couple $100 on a Bulova or Citizen and they're producing the same type of Lume. So, so there you go with that. Now, the really laughable part about this watch and what really makes it not, besides the fact that it's a homage, it's more of what we term clomage, because first of all, you can see that it's not a hacking movement, just kind of getting off beat here, but I have it, the crown pulled all the way out and it's still ticking. So not a hacking movement, but the real laughable stuff here is the superlative chronometer officially certified. Now, they could have totally did without that, and this would have made this an actual, more legit watch in my opinion. Whereas, like, you know, they could have either left that out or put something else in there that was actually true of the watch. Is the watch 100-foot water resistant? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't trust this even in the pool. But then again, you know, if you were to flood the watch and, you know, the watch malfunction, you spend another $30 and you get another watch. So, I mean, you know, there's no screw down crown here, guys. So, I mean, but then again, you're not getting screw down crowns with the Seikos that you're buying as well. Now, granted, you're getting a lot more water resistance with these Seikos, where this one is 10 bar. Here, you're only getting 100 feet of water resistance. So, but if we take a look, you do get a signed crown. You get substantial crown guards, okay? The bracelet, okay? The bracelet actually, I have to say, yeah, it's a little jingly jangly. You know, you've got no solid end links, which is expected. The clasp is pressed, but it is actually, I mean, it's not your typical like Seiko cheap press clasp. I mean, this one is actually pretty decent. They actually at least give it an effort to make it look nice, and it's got that single deployment button, and they do sign the clasp. I mean, there is definitely some effort here that I do appreciate. So this clasp actually is better than most of the Seiko ones that I've seen, okay? The bracelet, honestly, is nicer than a lot of the Seiko rolled links that I've seen. This one actually appears to be solid links here. You do have the pin system. You do have brushing and polishing in the center links. I mean, it's acceptable. I mean, especially at this range. My question is, I don't think that this is going to be a stainless steel case, but I could be wrong. Now, they do claim stainless steel, okay? But man, at this price point, I mean, you know, when I look at this case at certain angles, it looks like it's a chromed alloy case. And I think that's what it is, because you could even see the brushing underneath that chrome alloy, which to me is definitely a little bit deceitful. But I could be wrong, guys. I could be wrong, because it does feel solid. So, you know, I question it. I find it hard to believe, though, at $30 you're getting a solid stainless steel case. But man, if you are, kudos. I can't confirm nor deny it. I mean, even though it's just because it says it doesn't mean it's true. You do see a really beautiful sunburst blue dial in this. The blue is just really magnetic. I mean, it really just, it's very, very in your face. It's actually very reminiscent of the Tissot Sea-Star diver for much, much more money. This is just that kind of blue, and I have to admit, like, this is definitely going to be a showstopper. I mean, if someone were to come to me and say, "Hey, I want to buy a watch that's a showstopper for under, you know, $50," I mean, this is going to be the watch, for sure. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautifully crafted watch. We take a look at the case back, and look at that. You take a look at the rotor. Now, granted, that's actually a sticker on the rotor. Even though it looks legit, it's a sticker, okay? But at least they put the effort into it, right? It is it's a bit of a laugh, but hey, it looks good to the novice. And that's what I would say, like, this watch is really for. It's really for the person that's really not a hardcore collector. I'm not going to keep this watch in my collection, but I did want to, I haven't sold it yet. And it's just one of those watches that I kind of bring out here and there to kind of show examples of you don't have to spend a ton of money to get a good looking watch that actually tells time. And that's exactly what this thing does. As I said, it's not a screw down crown. You click it out, 2 positions, you set the time, pretty standard. It's got a pretty nice smooth sweep to it. You know, you change the date, you click that one position, and click it out one position, and you just, there you go. The date wheel is definitely a little wobbly there. You can see that, a little shaky, but it works. So you can wind this movement or shake it to get it started. But yeah, I'm not sure what movement these guys use, but I've actually had absolutely no problems with the watch, and I've had this thing for just about a year now. So pretty decent watch. So we'll take a couple quick measurements here. The watch is measuring it at a 42 millimeters, very standard size. I actually have a 42 millimeter Omega C Master Planet Ocean on today. Great size for my 7-inch wrist. We take a look at the lug to lug height, and you're looking right at a 50, a little more than 50 and a half, more like 51. We've got a case thickness of 15 millimeter, and I believe this is a 20. This is actually a 20 lug width. So there you go, guys. For $30, I would be very hard pressed to really suggest another watch that isn't a Casio. Let's be honest. For 30 bucks, you can buy quite a few good Casios. But if you're looking for a diver watch, yeah, I'd probably tell you to spend an extra 20 bucks and get the Casio Doro. But it's not an automatic watch, and it's not a Submariner homage that is extremely hot, and a lot of people are looking for it. And unless you want to pay well over $100 for a Pagani or any one of those other Chinese brands, this Chinese brand right here, the Tevise, has really got a lot going on visually, and at the same time, it keeps time. I mean, the watch does exactly what you want it to do. It basically appears to be a Rolex Submariner, kind of like what the Seiko 5 does, but this one definitely copies it a lot more. And it'll tell time. The only thing that I say it's not going to be able to do is you can't go diving with it like you can a real diver. So, but most people, including myself, don't go diving. So, the watch is still in a collection, and I can guarantee you one thing. You pay 30 bucks for this watch, you're probably going to get a lot more compliments on this watch than you will your more expensive pieces. I'm just warning you. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. And if you disagree with me, perfectly fine. Let me know down below. But remember that there's always time to be kind in those comments. So just do it in a respectful way. We can have a great dialogue. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time on another edition of AvgJoeWatchReviews. God bless everyone.